أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. All praises and adoration belongs to Allah, the Lord of incomparable and inexhaustible majesty. We beseech Allah to shower His blessing and His mercy on the noblest of mankind, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his household, his companion, his relatives, and those who follow the virtues of his teaching to the day of judgment. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We extend our greeting to each and every one of us. We give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has made today a reality, who has given you and I the opportunity to witness yet another day on the health service. Without wasting much of our time, our discussion this morning shall center around a very vital topic, which is Husn al-Khuluq, that is good character or Muslim character, good behavior, good manner. If we look at this topic vividly, we agree with me without doubt that every human being has its own way of doing things, characteristic, nature, behavior, manner, which characterized us as a human being. Because we are human, we have been created in such a way that we have multi-dimensional and intrinsic and extrinsic characteristic. We talk, we think, we interact, we get angry, we are happy at times. This is an indication to our nature and our characteristic. But what does Islam stand for in checking or putting a balance in our characteristic? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made us realize this in Surah Al-Shams. He said, وَالنَّفْسٍ وَمَنْ سَوَّاهَا فَعَلَيْهَا أُجْرَةٌ فَتَقْوَاهَا. Allah said, I swear unto us in Surah Al-Shams that He has made for you soul, which we always determine, or which we always give you precaution when you have a tendency towards doing good or doing evils. It creates a check and balance for you. So therefore, when talking about good character or good manner, it's a matter of how healthy an individual is in terms of the physical appearance and spiritual composition or makeup. So these two things has a vital role to play in our behavior, in our manner, in our characteristic. So that is why Prophet Muhammad made us realize this in the Quran and in the Hadith that Inna Allah la yanzur ila suwarikum wala ajsamukum walakinna yanzur ila qulubikum wa a'malikum. He said Allah will never alone consider your physique your appearance, your physical, composition alone, but it will be concerned with your soul, your mindset, your spiritual makeup, because these two things are more or less like the two faces of a coin. They are inseparable. That is why in Islam, we need to always make them to go hand in hand. At times you see somebody who will appear very attractive, we appear very presentable in terms of his physical appearance. We look good, we look interactive, but when it comes to characteristic, is found wanting, is nowhere to be found. He tells lies, he fornicates, he doesn't give respect to fellow being, is defiled, is degraded when it comes to characteristic behavior. And many a times you see somebody who is not physically presentable, is not physically attractive, but when it comes to characteristic, he is excellent, he is good to go with because of good manner, good characteristic. And with this, we say that good characteristic or good manner is beyond physical appearance, is beyond dressing, is beyond keeping beards, is something that has to do with both a physical and spiritual balancing. That is why, as Muslim, we need to define what good manner or good character is. So good characteristic or good manner is a kind of attitude, behavior, which is born out of internal makeup of every person, which we metamorphose into a characteristic or behavior that will be presented, that will be showcased with the limbs, the body, the mouth, the eyes, the hands, and what have you. So it's from the inner part of you, which you vomit, you divulge, or you display as a sort of, the outward presentation. So therefore, it's so germane that we need to check ourselves. We need to go back to the drawing board and see what kind of manner or characteristic or behavior are we displaying, are we showcasing. It's very key and so germane in our lives. Then, how do we know good manner? How do we determine good characteristics, because at times you see somebody doing something good. Is it really good? Because it's an hidden thing. It's something that has to do with both the internal and external factors. So these two factors must be factored in when you want to determine, or you want to, um, you want to bring about the judgment or the verdict on good character. Looking at this, at times you may see somebody, extending or displaying noble character, lofty behavior, like saying the truth, like helping the needy, the indigent, like showing care for the deprived and what have you. But its intention might not be in consonant with what is displaying, with what is showcasing. For example, if I do good to an opposite sex, maybe a lady, I'm giving her money, but my intention is to exploit her. My intention is to take the advantage of lapses, of a deficiency, of a inadequacy, because she's lacking money. Then I key into pretend as an helper, but my intention in the long run is to exploit. My intention in the long run is to abuse her sexually. So where's good character is out of place. And at times we see somebody who showcasing good character. He knows good characteristic. He knows lofty characteristic. He preaches it. He says it. People listen to him. They respect him. But when he's behind the door, when he's in isolation, he contradicts his saying. That's why they said it is easier said than done. And Allah warns us against such gesture. Somebody who is an advocate of good manner, is an advocate of lofty behavior, noble characters, but his action contravene his proclamation. Allah say, أتأمرون الناس بالبر وتنسون أنفسكم وأنتم تتلون الكتاب أفلا تعقلون. It is you who preach. It is you who educate people, who counsel people to do good. But you deny yourself of upholding such lofty behavior. You contradict it with your behavior. At times, you see somebody who proclaim good character, he proclaim good manner, but such a person we do such good characteristic, we uphold it. But if situation or circumstances change, or situation post challenge to him, you see him, he give up. You see him, he eschew or swallow such lofty behavior. For example, a husband who is being good to the wife is taking care of the wife, or a boss who is doing good to his employees, the employees, his staff, and maybe behave the staff misbehave or the wife misbehave somehow. The next thing is he stop doing good. He refuse to extend good any longer because of the misbehavior, or because of the dishonesty displayed by the wife. In Islam, no, it far be let Hassan. That's what I said. If people do evils to you, don't respond or pay back with evil. You continue to pay back with virtues, with goodness. And lastly, at times you see somebody who continue upholding righteousness, goodness, even if he or she is confronted with any challenge or the situation is not friendly, he continues to do good because he believes that he's doing it for the sake of Allah alone, not anybody. He continue such goodness. That is what is expected of you as an individual. Whether you're happy, you're not happy, whether you have been cheated, whether you have been disappointed, or anyone provoke you, that doesn't warrant or give you the license to change your character, your behavior, and start behaving unruly. No. That is when you continue to do good. And what are the pillars of good characters? So we have 4 pillars of good characters. One is knowledge, awareness. You must have the knowledge. You must be aware. You must know evils and do away from it. You must know virtue and adhere, stick to it. It is by knowledge that will make you to know if you are on the track or you are derailing. It's by the knowledge that will make you to realize if you are doing something for Allah's sake or other way around. So knowledge of do's and don'ts, of right and wrong, is so key and so germane in Islam. And secondly is Shuja, ability to repel, ability or the courage to resist evils, the self-discipline is so key and so germane. Because when you refute it, when you reject it, when you say no to it, some people, they can't help the situation. They don't have the courage to say no to evils. They continue to, dwell upon evils. You as an individual, you should try as much as possible to ensure that you say no to evils. You must have the courage, even if it's against you or someone close to you. You don't partake in evils. And justice. Justice is one of the key factors in terms of character or good virtue. And how do I mean by this justice? You must be just and balanced in everything you engage in. This justice, by extension, cut across every facet of our life. You must be just to yourself. You must be just to your wife, to your children, to people around you. And because the opposite of justice is injustice. Good character requires justice and balance. You must balance in between evils and virtue. Virtue and evils go hand in hand. One can easily interswitch or intertwine, interchange in the course of, upholding any action. That is why you must have at the back of your mind that justice must be upheld in all ramification. The last one is al-ifa. Al-ifa is ability to let it go. Anything you should, be the type that will always let bygone be bygone. If somebody offends you, somebody crossed your path, somebody has done injustice to you, let it go. Be open-minded. Let's bygone be bygone. So if you continue to harbor hatred in your heart, to harbor malice in your heart, it will prevent you from being a just person, from being a righteous person, from being, a person that will be able to uphold righteousness, good character. So, al-ifa. We pray to Almighty Allah to make this little an acceptable act of worship from you and I, and remold and reform our characters for us, and make us prosper both in this world and life to come. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.